see my screen?
Yes.
All right, wonderful. You can all unmute yourself. There's no bouncing at all in this quiz. The format is fairly straightforward. 2 rounds of 15 questions each, 10 points per question. Infinite bounce, but no bounce, and hands have to be visible on the screen all the time. All right, I will just randomly assign your seat positions based on how you're visible to me on the screen. So, seat 1, we have Venki. Seat 2, we have Arun. Seat 3 is Santosh. 4 is Calvin. 5 is Vinny. And Rajiv, you're on 6. All right, so that's your order. I'll keep scores. So you can keep your own scores so that you can, if there's any conflict, we can resolve them. All right, so we start with Venki on the clockwise half. Venki, your direct question coming up. All the best, guys. Welcome to the finals. A couple of decades ago, a case was slapped against IBM India for an ad that said their servers were compatible with both 3.5-inch and 5.25-inch floppy disks. Why was the case filed?
Uh,
You can work it out. Look at, I've only pointed out what caused the trouble in that ad. So, based on the information that you have, try and make a guess.
okay. I'll randomly guess that the case was that they were trying to mislead in some way because the 3.5-inch one of the two formats pretty much never existed in India, so they're making like a false claim.
No, nice guess, but both sizes were very widely available in India. Arun, what's your guess?
My guess is that it's on a similar lines. 5.25 inch is like old, so I think it's only about a 3.5 inch.
No,
So
Santosh?
Okay, I'll try something different and say that there was some obscenity charge with the S was misplaced with a C.
They misread disks as dicks and floppy disks kind of sounded kind of obscene. No, nothing to do with that. Calvin?
I think some movie came out that exclusively released the film in a particular size that was in between 3.5 and 5.25 inch.
No, nothing to do with any movie. Vinit?
I have nothing more to add. Pass.
Okay. Rajiv?
So I'll try a slightly different angle. This term floppy disk, if I remember right, was a patented or a trademark term. I don't know who. I thought it was IBM, but since the case is against IBM, must have been Microsoft or something. So that's
It
the
was
reason.
actually patented by IBM itself, so nothing to do with patents. This was only in India that it was filed, so it's specifically something to do with India. According to
is
the
it
Legal
because
Metrology Act, all advertisements must only use the metric system, and they said this in their advertisement copy, and that somebody caught it and said, okay, let's have some fun and file a case against IBM. So
Very
that
nice.
eventually the case got dismissed in the High Court and everything. But first of all, the fact that such a funny law exists, I thought was interesting enough. Question now direct to Arun. Arun, your direct coming up. This is a critically acclaimed documentary that came out sometime last year. It's about pioneering women in the history of electronic music. What rhyming name does this documentary have? It's a 3-word name where the first and the third word rhyme with each other. These were all about the pioneering women in this genre. Think about what would have been used in the early days of electronic music, and that should kind of help you. Very early days of electronic music.
electronic music eves.
No, I don't see anything rhyming there either. Santosh?
Nothing comes to mind. Pass.
Calvin?
I'll say reeling glass ceiling.
Interesting guess, but no. Vinith?
I'll say House of Mouse.
No. Raji?
Pass. Pass.
Vicky? Yeah, heard you. Vicky?
Reels and I don't know, something Eves in Reels, something like that.
No. Very early days of electronic music, you would be using things like transistors. The documentary was called Sisters with Transistors. All right, moving on
So
to
these are
Santosh.
transistors as in transistor radios, or they use those?
No, they
Transistors
actually
are-
use the transistors.
Okay.
Santosh, which word came into the English language from a French word that literally meant to put off one's appetite? Think of other words that you know which has to do with appetite or
I'll say disgust or disgusting.
disgust is correct. Well done. So Santosh opens his account. So this is the origin of the word disgust.
He's also in sole lead at this stage.
And Calvin, you're direct coming up. Speaking of disgust, there is this thing in Sweden called the Disgusting Food Museum. And as the name suggests, they showcase disgusting food and people get to eat stuff like durian, surströmming, which is essentially rotten herring, and so on. What are the tickets to this museum printed on, appropriately enough? Printed on something that would definitely be needed for this museum experience for most people.
Sorry, can you just repeat what you said?
I said they printed on something that would definitely be needed for most people who visit this museum.
I'll say masks, face masks.
Not masks, Vinith.
I'll say these are like barf bags.
Barf bags is indeed correct. Well done. Perfect answer there. So that's 10 points to Vinith, taking away Santosh's sole lead status. Raji, your direct coming up now. Recent research at Cambridge University suggests that bamboo may be more suited than willow and more environmentally friendly to making cricket bats. Why did MCC, however, dismiss the idea? Again, you can work this out. This bunch of researchers approached MCC saying that bamboo might be a better bet than willow. MCC dismissed their suggestion. Bye.
Because
Given it's MCC, the answer should involve rules of cricket in some sense. So think on those lines. They're the gatekeepers of all cricketing rules these days.
so the width of the bat with the bamboo bat, I mean, it will change with while you play, so it may not be within the.
No, Vinky.
Yeah, I mean, they'd have to go back and make like fundamental changes to the laws of cricket itself, because it's written in there that willow is the thing to be used. And if you,
In fact, willow is not mentioned at all in the rule book. So
thought so, I was just making a
I don't-
random guess.
My guess is that bamboo offers more elasticity. This will give batsmen an even more higher advantage. So when the ball hits, it'll go
NCC would have
further.
jumped on that and made the rule change. They love batsmen anyway. No, Santosh.
I'll say that maybe there's some regulation that the bat should be made of a single piece of wood, and a piece of bamboo isn't wide enough for a bat to make a bat.
Interesting guess. Calvin.
Yeah, I'll say the MCC actually specifies that bat should be made out of wood from trees, and bamboo is actually a grass, which is not a tree. So
That is the perfect answer. The only thing that the rule book says is that the cricket bat should be made of wood, and bamboo, of course, is grass, and therefore does not qualify. Perfect answer there, Calvin.
Before you gave that clue on MCC being the guardian of cricket, I was going to say bamboo is a grass without knowing why.
All right. 10 points to Calvin. Vinith, your direct coming up. Speaking of bats, while there is no law against colored bats, why was Andre Russell stopped from playing with this black colored bat at the Big Bash League? This happened a couple of years ago.
Maybe because it's black in color, the hotspot technique for identifying whether there's a nick probably doesn't work well with these sort of
Nice guess, but nothing to do with hotspot. Raji.
Oh, it's back to me. I would say that these are day-night matches played with white balls. The side screen is black in color, so it could, the opposing end batsman might get blurred in seeing the ball.
No, why would the opposing end batsman care about the side screen anyway? Venki?
As in when he's at the
So it's nothing to do with the side screen, so we'll quickly move on. Venki.
Okay. I'll say something to do with this. It's kind of color results in the kind of the brand of the bat being visible or whatever, and that kind of endorsement is not allowed in BBL.
No, Arun.
I'm going to guess that the bat was imparting color to the ball, black, and making it blacker, and hence they wanted to avoid it.
That is the correct answer. The white balls were getting darker every time it took some color from the bat, every time Andre Russell made contact with the bat. So midway through the innings, the umpire said, boss, we can't allow you to continue batting with this bat. Good 10 points there to Arun. Question now direct to Santosh. Santosh, what's the repetitive title of Charles Kive's book subtitled The Selling of a Scientific Celebrity? This out from the subtitle, and it's a repetitive title. You're on mute, Santosh.
Whose question is this?
Mine.
This is
Santosh.
Selling of a scientific celebrity.
You said repetitive, not rhyming, right?
I said repetitive, yes.
All right.
Right? Try and take a guess.
Damn it! I have two guesses.
Pick one.
I'll just say Bill Nye the Science Guy.
No. Calvin?
I'm just gonna say Ring Ring because Graham Bell and the telephone.
No, nothing to do with Graham Bell or the telephone. Vinith?
I'll just say Eureka.
Not Eureka. Rajiv?
Is this what Samant wrote about Hawking?
Hawking is right. Someone did write a review about the book. Well done. 10 points to Rajiv there. He'd been waiting for it. I could see that Santosh was taking too long. Rajiv was getting antsy. So this is Hawking. Question now direct to Venki. Venki, there has two parts here. Who was the first black person? His namesake son instantly had a Billboard #1 singing a cappella. and the dad was essentially an opera singer, who was the first black person to sing at the Metropolitan Opera. And look at the photo and tell me which titular Verdi role did he perform. His just should give you a hint as to which Verdi role he played. His son was also a singer, and one of his songs, an a cappella song, went all the way to #1 on Billboard. Son has the same name as the father.
I have no idea. I'll randomly guess. I don't know. Say Will Smith Sr. for the
Will
person.
Smith Sr. Not too bad a guess, but what is the Verdi role he's playing here?
Verdi role he's playing. I don't know. I'll say some version of Verdi where there's false stuff. I'll say false stuff.
Not Falstaff. Arun?
I'm going to guess Bill Withers, and second I'll just say false stuff.
Okay, not Bill Withers in Falstaff. Santosh?
Okay, the role is Othello, and cannot remember his name. Bill. God damn it. Pass.
Okay, Calvin?
Are you conserving points in any case?
No, I'm not doing any such thing.
Okay.
Hey,
I'll
Othello is
say,
wrong. Don't get taken in by Santosh's confidence in saying Othello. Othello is wrong.
Okay, I'll say Nabucco for the Verdi role, and black person. I'll just say Marvin Gaye. I don't think it's right.
Not Marvin Gaye. Nabucco is a good guess on Verdi, but it's not Nabucco. This is not Nebuchadnezzar. Vinith?
I'll just say Ida for
Not Ida. And what about the person?
no idea on the person.
Okay, Raji?
See, the person's name I'm blanking. Basically, this is the father of the "Don't Worry, Be Happy" guy. Yeah. So
You have a name?
shit. Yeah. I've been trying to recollect. I could sing the whole song, but
Now you know what I was going through.
you also forgot. Okay.
Of course.
And don't worry, be happy. I'll give my number. And this is the... Okay, pass.
Okay. And now-
That's Bobby McFerrin, Rajiv.
Bobby McFerrin.
Yes, Bobby McFerrin or Robert McFerrin is the name. And this is his dad, Robert McFerrin Sr., if you want to call him. And the role, Vicky noticed that it was a court jester of some sort based on the dress, but it's not Falstaff. This is Rigoletto. Rigoletto is a court jester.
Oh, I didn't know he was a black. Yeah. Oh God, shit.
Oh, you didn't know Robert McFerrin was black?
No. That Rigoletto was a black role.
Is not necessarily black. Rigoletto is just a court jester.
Yeah, right. I mean,
It just so happened that a black man played.
okay.
All right. I will give 2 sympathy points to Rajiv for at least attempting to be and everything. All right. Next question now.
Sir,
Therefore, Venki.
thank you.
Yeah.
Sir, just a small interruption. Are we keeping score or like
I'm
even we are
keeping
doing
scores, don't worry, I'm keeping scores.
it? Okay, cool. Thank you.
All right. Venki,
The
your
points
direct-
being scored are so leisurely that Kutupa with his left hand can also keep scores.
All right. Venki, your direct. Girasole is the Italian word for a sunflower and is the reason why this tuber vegetable of the sunflower family has a name harking back to the Holy Land. The second part of the name is thanks to it tasting similar to another vegetable. So what vegetable am I talking about?
Jerusalem artichoke.
Jerusalem artichoke is correct. So Venki is also off the mark now. Everybody's off the mark. That's good. Arun, your direct coming up.
I'm getting a call.
Identify the man pictured here with his wife. From which predecessor of his did he likely borrow this sense of attire from? One part should be fairly easy. The other part, you can work it out if you know a bit of science history.
The second part, I'll say CV Raman.
Okay.
First part, no guess. No
What's
guess.
your guess for the film? No guess. Okay, Santosh.
Pass.
Santosh quickly passes to Calvin.
Okay, second part, I'll go on a different track and say Visvesvaraya. And no guesses for the first one.
Okay, Vinith.
I'll stick with CV Raman and say Chandrasekhar.
Not Chandrasekhar. Rajiv.
C.V. Raman and Max Born.
This is Max Born, who
Oh.
succeeded C.V. Raman as the director of IISc. And yeah, I guess he wore
This
a
is a
Feta in C.V. Raman style. 5 points to Arun for saying C.V. Raman and full 10 points to Rajiv Rai for remembering Max Born. Question now direct again to Venki. Venki, why does Amazon not allow advertisements for James Bond movies on its ad network? You can again work this out. Think of all the James Bond posters that you know, and you can work it out from there.
Since the posters typically have like a gun, James Bond holding a gun in them, and Amazon doesn't allow like
That's
advertisements
the
with guns.
perfect answer. Their policy does not allow for any ads that show guns. And what's a James Bond movie poster without him holding a?
So are you saying that any movie poster which has a gun, they block, is it?
Yes, they do.
Oh, wow.
On their
Nice
ad
answer.
net.
Nice answer, Venki.
Well worked out, Venki. Good 10 points to you. Arun, your direct coming up. In May 2021, why did a Madurai couple decide to get married on board a chartered flight?
Okay, is this that they had the restrictions on the number of people that can attend a wedding everywhere else, but in the flight, so they just decided to attend a flight.
That's the perfect answer.
30 people or
So
something.
there was a 50 guest restriction, but they wanted to invite some 100 people. The only venue, quote unquote, that could allow for 100 people was if they chartered a A320, which they went on to do.
There was some
That's a good-
problem about some pilots getting fired for allowing a fire on board. Was it the same thing?
No, that was a different one. So that's 10 points to Arun. Question now direct to Santosh. Oops, sorry. Santosh, you need to explain why the windows of this London building look like this. It's on the south bank of Thames, very
Prominent.
popular attraction. Why does the windows of this building look like this? You can work it out.
It used to be a windmill.
It was never a windmill. Moving on to Calvin.
See, this was used for snipers and stuff during the war to like sort of position their guns in it.
No, nothing to do with snipers being positioned there. Vinith?
I'll say this is used for spectators to view some sporting game.
No, nothing to do with that. Rajiv?
So once upon a time, advertising external or hoarding advertisements were banned, at least on the Thames embankment. So Oxo, which was a very popular, that bouillon, whatever, bouillon cubes and all that, they decided to advertise themselves by making their windows look like Oxo.
It's not their windows. They actually bought this power station and then redid the windows. So they wanted to advertise on the tower that was not.
So now
allowed.
it is called the Oxo Tower. That's why I
Now
thought
they just call it the Oxo Tower. It used to be a power station, but today commonly that's just called the Oxo Tower. Very, very good answer there, Rajiv.
Beautiful.
10 points to you. Question now direct
Good.
again to Venki.
Urpa, yes.
Your screen
Green
share is
green
gone.
share.
Your screen share is gone.
Oh, change. Let me know if it's back.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Venki, you're direct. What urban legend does this image try to prove? Look carefully. This is just a very specific part of a much larger image that I'm showing you. But
Okay.
what urban legend does this try to prove? Trying to figure out what text might be there at the bottom also help.
Will it help if you figure out the text?
I mean, for me, definitely would have helped.
Is the text in the
Which
right
is why I used it.
order? Like, did you move it around?
I haven't done anything apart from crop the image.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm. I don't know. Is it something to do with that whole urban legend that the whole moon landing was shot at Universal Studios out there?
No, nothing to do with that. Arun?
I'm just going to guess. Is it Nessie? Loch Ness?
No, this is not the surgeon's photograph of the Loch Ness monster. Santosh.
For lack of a better guess, I'll go with the common urban legend. Paul is dead.
Nothing to do with the Paul is dead myth. Calvin?
Okay, so it looks like there's a guy and a woman who are facing one direction. So I'm guessing like this is probably something to do with the assassination of Franz Ferdinand and how it started the World War.
No, nice guess, but no. Vinith?
Pass.
Rajiv?
I'm making a guess that the bottom text is in Cyrillic, and going by that, I'm saying that this is that Lenin or somebody was present at the
Okay, let me stop you right
1905
there.
Cuba.
Nothing to do with Russia or this is not Lenin, but more Lenin. So this is the urban legend that if you take Bob Dylan's John
Oh.
Wesley Harding album cover upside down, you can see an image of the Beatles hidden in the tree. Not a man and a woman, but the four Beatles that you can kind of make out. But
So this is
you
all
only-
upside down English, is it?
Yes, that was upside down.
No wonder it looks Cyrillic, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I asked.
Apparently it was Santosh.
That's what I asked,
What is
like-
this?
Yeah, you had figured out that it was upside down, right?
All right. Nobody gets points on that, but some interesting guesses. Arun, your direct coming up. Why is the red disc in the Bangladeshi flag slightly off center? You can work this out logically.
So, okay, this is going to make initially it had the shape of the region in it, and they considered entire Bangla speaking population. So, but only Bangladesh is only
It's
part
not
of it.
a bulked up version of the Bangladesh map. Santosh?
Pass.
Santosh passes to Calvin.
Yeah, so basically when it's on a pole and there's wind and the flag is fluttering, So the slight offset actually makes it look as though it's in the center.
That's the perfect answer. It is essentially centered, taking into account that it will be hoisted from a pole. Good answer there, Calvin. 10 points to you. Vinith, the question coming up for you now. Oh no, that's the end of the clockwise half. So we're done with 15 questions. Scores are all pretty leading right now with 32 points is Rajiv Rai. Arun is second with 25. Venki and Calvin both have 20. Santosh and Vinith have 10 apiece. So anybody can quickly catch up. So Rajiv, we start with you and go the other way now. According to Indrajit Chitale, helping control moisture and hiding particles of cardamom powder which may turn up as black spots that can be mistaken for mold are the primary reason for what culinary practice in India? The name might give you a clue as well. All right, Raji.
Pass.
Okay. Could have taken a guess. Vinith?
I'll say this is some sort of covering that is made on top of savory stuff. What?
To say anything more?
No, I don't have anything more.
Okay, Calvin.
Silver coat on Kaju Katli.
That's the right answer. Not just Kaju Katli, but pretty much any Indian mithai. You have a chandni varak or a silver foil layer that's added on top of it. That's a good 10 points to you, Calvin. Well done. Question now direct to Santosh. Santosh, this has three parts. Identify the artist of this work and the artist of the work that inspired this painting. And the third part, in which movie does this painting become the only one spared from vandalism because the antagonist appreciates this work of art?
Okay, for the first two parts, I'll say Francis Bacon and Diego Velázquez.
Okay.
And spared from vandalism. Thomas Crown Affair.
All right, Arun.
I don't have a better guess, so passing.
Okay, Venki.
I'll say Bacon, Dali, and Spectre.
Okay, Rajiv.
Bacon and Velasquez are correct. The third part, I'll say V for Vendetta.
Not V for Vendetta, Vinith.
So Bacon, Velasquez. I will say American Psycho.
Not American Psycho. Calvin.
Yeah, passing for the movie. I don't have this. Oh, for the artist, I'll just say Lucian Freud and Raphael.
No. Bacon and Velasquez are indeed right.
Is this the Joker movie? One of the Joker movies? Joker Batman movies?
It is Batman. Joker is the one who says that.
Oh, that's the only one.
Batman.
Lovely, lovely.
All right, so 6 points to Santosh for getting 2 out of 3, but nobody gets Batman. That's just as he likes it. Question now direct to Arun. Okay, Kerala boy getting a Kerala question. Name of which town in Kerala's Kasaragod district that derives its name from Kannada for peacock was recently changed because officials posted to government jobs in that place found the name embarrassing.
It's like, okay, I don't know the exact thing.
Knowing Kannada for peacock also will help. Knowing the word for peacock in any other southern language also might help.
But you want the exact town name?
I need the name of the town, so I don't need the Kannada word for peacock. I need the name of the town.
Mailur.
Not Mailur. Venki?
Yeah, so it's so I'll just say it's something like Mair, which is a.
That is the right answer. It's Maire.
Oh, okay.
The Kannada word
I-
for peacock, instead of Mailu, it becomes Mayura. So Mayura became Maire. So 10 points to Venki.
Overthinking.
Yeah, some
Mayura is
overthinking
actually just
happened.
a Sanskrit word.
Mayura is also the Sanskrit word. Rajiv, your direct coming up. Johnny Weissmuller famously won the 100-meter freestyle swimming gold in the 1924 Olympics. Who, gold medalist at the 2 previous editions and a pioneer of a different water sport, won the silver?
Pio Kahanamoku.
Pio Kahanamoku is correct. That's a good 10 points to you. Vinit, your direct. Since 1960, whenever a football match happens at San Sebastian and Real Sociedad, the home team scores a goal, 2 rockets are fired. And if the opposing team scores a goal, 1 rocket is fired. Why did this tradition originally start?
So this is probably meant for spectators who are not in the stadium or outside the stadium to identify who's actually scored the goal based on the number of rockets that are fired.
That's good enough. Concept is right. So essentially, matches used to happen at a time which was also the best time to fish in the San Sebastian Bay, which meant that fishermen who were a significant population of the town, they couldn't make it to the match, and this was a way for them to keep score. 10 points to you, Vinith. Question now direct to Calvin. 2 parts. Why is the cover art for this V.S. Naipaul book appropriate? Also identify the artist whose work you see on the cover here.
Okay. So the novel is titled The Enigma of Arrival. So at the right side of the frame, you can see a ship mast there. So this is possibly a hint towards Columbus arriving at the Americas. And the artist, I'll say, is the Shiriko.
Okay. Moving on to Santosh.
Pass.
Passes to Arun.
I'm going to guess this is someplace in Seychelles, and that's where all the indentured laborers used to arrive.
Okay. No, nothing to do with that. Pinky.
Okay, I'll try that. The ship there is supposed to be the Mayflower on which the Pilgrim Fathers arrived. So that's the arrival, and that's why it's appropriate. And the artist, I'll say is, I'll say Hopper.
Okay, Rajiv.
I like Shiriko del Shiriko guess. I'll go with that. And along with that, maybe it's just the Ellis Island, the arrival place in New York when you come and see.
Okay, Vinith.
Yeah, so this is Chiriko. I'll say most of the works by Chiriko, which is set in an island, are also called Enigma, and it's based on Ariadne. So maybe some reference to Ariadne in the novel, which is what made it up.
No, nothing so complicated. 5 points to Calvin for identifying Shiriko. The reason is fairly straightforward. The Shiriko painting is titled The Enigma of Arrival. Naipaul took the title of the book from the title of the painting.
Oh.
5 points, Calvin. Question now direct to Santosh. Santosh, what's the Sanskrit name for the juniper herb? It's a short question, but you can actually work this out if you know what juniper is primarily used for, and then do a couple of leaps of logic from there. Santosh is in a quandary now. It's an India question, but also a food question.
Santosh was like Sanskrit name, but then he saw.
I can't remember. Pass.
Okay. Arun.
Pass.
Okay, passing to Venki.
Hapusa.
Nice.
Hapusa is correct. The brand of gin in Goa, Hapusa, takes its name from the Sanskrit word for juniper. Good, well worked out answer there. Venki gets 10 points. Question now direct to Rajiv. Rajiv, this is not an exhaustive list, but connect Europe, Rome, Stalingrad, George V, Victor Hugo. There are a few more I could have added. I got lazy.
Any more clues? Context?
Just maybe add one or two names.
Victor Hugo is a big hint there. As is Europe, if you ask me. Yeah, at best I could have added some 3-4 more, but these are the most well-known ones.
Sorry, 3-4 names would have completed the list, is it?
Yeah, as in if I was being thorough, I could have added 3 or 4 more.
Oh, okay.
Is it something to do with rape of Europa and
No,
siege
nothing
of...
to do with shape of Europa. Vinith?
I guess these are all in some way connected to name changes. For example, Stalingrad had different name. George
Okay.
V's Windsor was adopted.
I will pass you on without any further comment to Calvin.
I'll pass.
Passes to Santosh.
For lack of a better guess, ESA launches.
No. Arun?
Landing spots of spacecraft on the moon.
No. Venki.
Tube stations in Paris.
Is the right answer. These are all
Oh.
stations that are not named for the location they're in, but are
Very
named
nice.
in
Beautiful.
case of Rome and Stalingrad after battles. Europe is because that intersects with the line that does the transcontinental thing. Victor Hugo is named after Victor Hugo. So on. So good guess or worked out, I don't know, but well answered there. These are all station
And
names on the
George
Paris
V,
metro.
why George V? Because of the hotel or something?
George V is named after the king. I think some friendship pact between England and France.
Yeah, during the World War II, maybe. Yeah.
Question now, Rajiv, back to you. Steven Zucker and David A. Cox originally had this idea when they were graduate students at Princeton. They eventually followed through with it when they were both professors at Rutgers University. So what is their idea that determines if a given set of sections provides a basis for the model wave group of an elliptic surface E tending to S, where S is isomorphic to the projective line? They had the idea when they were students itself, but eventually did it when they were professors.
The shape of the Pringle chip or something like that.
No, Vinith?
This is some sort of a test to determine whether a given object is like a perfect object or something like that.
Okay, Calvin.
You go with some sort of a complex test for primes.
No, Santosh.
I don't know what this is for, but I know it's called the cocksucker hypothesis, and it was some funniest name ever. Or
That
something
is
like that.
the answer. So when they were students, they decided that they should get
Oh,
something
they just had
named
to
after the
name.
two of them so that they make a cocksucker joke. So it's called the cocksucker machine or cocksucker algorithm. Well done, Santosh. You ignored all the complicated
Brilliant.
sites there and looked at the names. 10 points to you. Question now to Arun. Arun, two parts. What is this technique called? In which sport is it most commonly used?
Okay.
Right, Arun? What's your guess?
My guess is this looks like egg whisker, like you're beating
Okay.
an egg, and I'm going to guess this is most like water polo or defense. They're defending their.
Is the perfect answer. Both parts right. It's called a egg beater kick and water polo. Where that's how they manage to stay stable in the same position. 10 points to you. Good answer there. Question now direct to Venki. Venki, identify these two similarly structured chemicals. Carefully, there are hints to help you.
Uh, I no, I can't think of anything else.
Okay, Raji,
Like a red pill, green pill, something like that.
the red pill, green pill. No, Vinith.
I will say garnet and emerald underlying structure.
No, Calvin.
Let's go with ruby and emerald.
Not ruby and emerald, but I can see why you're guessing that. Santosh
Chlorophyll and hemoglobin.
is the right answer.
Oh,
This is hemoglobin and chlorophyll. That's
Lovely,
why the
lovely,
red
lovely.
green iron of hemoglobin. Okay.
Lovely.
Superb
Well done,
answer,
Santosh.
Santosh has woken up now, yeah. We can all go to sleep.
Correct. We can go to sleep now. Correct.
All right. Of course, before the last few questions, pretty tight at the top. Venki is leading with 50. Close
nice.
behind him on 42 is Raji. Then on 36 is Santosh. And on 35, we have both Arun and Calvin. Winner is on 20. So
How many
move on.
questions left?
I think 2 or 3, I guess. I haven't kept count, but
Okay.
totally 15. In the 1935 Kannada play Draupadi Vastrapaharana by Kandagal Hanumantaraya, what replaces Krishna's Sudarshana Chakra in the titular scene? This is to Arun.
Just guessing. This is the Gandhi Chakra, like from the Congress flag.
The Charaka is right. Well done.
Super.
10 points to you, Arun. So you now go into second. Question now to Venki. Because of his tendency to often get injured, what pejorative nickname was used for Arsenal's Jack Wilshere? Can work this out. Any guesses?
I'll say Jill or Jill Wilshere because of Jack and Jill. And
Or Jill
insinuating it's a
Wilshere,
woman.
Raji?
Will he play? Jack, will he play or something?
No.
Will
Vinod?
play. Will play. Yeah.
I'll say weak Wilshere.
No. Calvin?
We just say Jack in the box.
Not Jack in the box. Soccer legend Santosh?
I'll say Jack might share because he might play or he might not.
No. Good guess, Arun. Oh, it was
Yeah.
your direct, is it?
No,
it
no,
was
it's
Venki.
not. No, no.
Your direct.
It's direct mine now, right?
Okay,
So
Arun,
I'm going
take
to
a guess.
guess this is wheelchair because wheelchair will share. So
That
Jack
is
Wilshere.
the right fun
Oh,
that you
wow.
had to make. Jack Wilshere. Well done. And with that, I think you go to the lead. Let's see if this was the last question or if there is one more. Oh, there is more. So Venki, you're direct again. Why is this rock formation in Australia called the London Arch?
The entirety of the picture, right?
The rock formation that you see in the water, that's called the London Arch. Why so?
Hmm. Mm. Original landing point of ships that came to Australia from London carrying prisoners and so on.
No. Moving on to Raji.
Some Archbishop Funda.
Not any Archbishop Funda. Vinod.
I'll say if seen from above, it vaguely resembles a map of London.
No. Calvin.
Yeah, I'll just say resembles the London Bridge.
You want to just add on a bit to your answer?
Oh man.
The arch of the London. Which part do you want? Like a proper noun or something?
No, just if you can say something more to your answer to make it more accurate would be good.
The the bridges that connect the Parliament houses in London, basically.
No need to
arches.
tell me where London Bridge is. Okay, I'll move on to Santosh. Let's see if he has something to say.
It's fallen down to the middle. London Bridge has fallen down. So there's a
So-
gap in the middle. So hence, after the nursery rhyme, London Bridge has fallen down.
Got it. Arun?
That was my guess also. So I'm going to say right. Okay, yeah. Actually, that was my guess. Sorry, go on.
What I'll do is I'll give part points to both Calvin and Santosh for their brave attempts.
So it's
About
essentially the bascule bridge that opens up, right?
No, so there actually was a middle section which had another arch which collapsed in 1990. Earlier, it used to be called London Bridge because the entire structure taken together looked exactly like the London Bridge. But now that one bit is gone, whatever is remaining is just being called as the London Arch. So 5 points to both Calvin and Santosh. This is definitely the last question because I remember this. That's the last thing I said last night. And it's a direct to Venki. But before that, let's take a look at the scores. Venki is on 50. If he wins this, and if he gets this right, he goes to 60 and comes first. But otherwise, Arun will come first. He's at 55. Then we have Rajiv at 42, Santosh at 41, Calvin at 40. So very close battle for all positions within this.
The question should go to Arun, I think,
Question
right?
is
Calvin and
Arun.
Santosh got points. Yeah.
Yeah, Calvin and Santosh got points. So yeah, question is to Arun. Thanks for reminding me. So Arun, if you
Oh
get this,
dear.
you win this.
Nice to put me at pressure. Same with the Maire question. Right? Scientific name is.
How do you go to camel? So one scientific name for different animals have been covered. Kind of gives you an idea how confusing this animal looks.
Okay. Cow, deer. I'm just going to say Nilgai.
Yeah.
Nilgai is the right answer. Well done.
Nice. Because
With that,
it's
I think you won the quiz. Let's confirm that that was indeed the last question. Yes, it was. All right. So final scores coming in first with 65 points is Arun. Coming in second with 50 points is Venki. Coming in third is Rajiv Rai with 42. Close behind with 41 and 40 points are Santosh and Calvin, and Vineet ends up sixth at 20. All right. Thank you, guys. That was a good, fun quiz to host. Hope you guys also had fun.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Mustafa.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Good
Thanks
stuff.
to Triple
Thank you.
Hyderabad and the TV Room Quiz Club for making this happen.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Yes.
Congrats, Arun. Well done.
Yeah. Well played, everyone. Bye.
Yeah, congrats, guys. Nice quiz.
Bye.